What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Electrix Motos. What we're going to be talking about is why we chose the VTB 9600 over the eBMX for this 2.0 shop build. If you're looking to upgrade your E-Ride 2.0, whether you choose the eBMX or you choose the VTB 9600 from Ventus, you're gonna get the same power output. But what I like about the Ventus is its tunability and controllability. I know that eBMX has a very robust app. I just personally prefer to use the Ventus controller. And the power that you get out of this controller is absolutely incredible. We took this bike from 12 kilowatts up to 15 kilowatts, and that's in race mode. If we take this beyond that and we go to boost mode, our phase amps are so high that we cut the battery. Now, I have not done any throttle tuning with this controller since we put it on, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to give you a real impression of what you're gonna get directly out of the box onto the bike. When you get this controller, just like every other one, no matter what it is, you do have to drop your controller out, take your battery, remove your skid plate. There are steps in the process. The thing is, it is very simple. Everything comes pre-labeled and it is literally plug and play. The hardest part of installing a controller on your bike, no matter what bike it is, no matter what controller it is simply getting everything to fit back in the same spot that it was when you took the thing apart, because obviously these bikes are put together very tightly. Everything is very compact, so you have to take some care and just go slow when you're putting everything back into the bike. Let's talk about the settings in the screen, because I think that's an important first place to start. Right here is your regen. The thumb regen basically acts as a brake and it will save your brake pads. But if you press this thing too hard, you will go over the handlebars, coming from experience, so just be careful with that. Moving over to the screen before we talk about this hand control. Right now the bike is in park. When you turn your bike on, it'll appear this way. You press start, and your modes are in the top center of the screen, which may be hard for you to see. Right now I have it in sport mode. If I want to go to a different mode, I double tap the mode button, takes me to race, then it takes me to boost, then it takes me to easy go. So on each one of those profiles, all of this is done within the D1 setting. So everything I'm doing right now is exactly how you're going to get it out of the box. I have made no adjustments whatsoever because I wanted you to see what you're going to see. Now, over here on the right-hand side, you will see something that has amps, and it goes from 100 amps down to 0 amps. That is your automatic regen. So every single mode that you go in, you're gonna have to adjust what regen setting you want it in. That's the very basic overview of this controller. The throttle on this controller is very similar to the Arctic Leopard throttle, which is why I love it over eBMX, is because I think the Ventus bikes 9600 just comes with the best throttle right out of the box. And mind you, I have adjusted none of the curves so far. So if it's something that you're interested in doing and you're kind of on the fence and you may be a little nervous about the process, it is very easy to do. It'll take you and somebody else, if you want a hand, maybe an hour and a half. If you do it by yourself, maybe 2 hours. And that's going slow and making sure you get everything to fit back in the bike. We're gonna take these things out and rip and see what it turns out to be. All right, so let's talk about the power of this thing, because I think it's important to know what you're gonna get. Factory battery, factory motor, just the controller installed bumped me from 12 to right around 15 kilowatts. Now remember, that 15 kilowatts, anytime you hear a max kilowatt of a bike, that is a peak kilowatt, and it only lasts for a fraction of a second, maybe 10 seconds. It is not 15 kilowatts continuous. You will probably run with this controller in the neighborhood of 12 kilowatts continuous with a 15 kilowatt peak, which adds 3 kilowatts to this bike. And now this bike is keeping up with an E-Ride 3.0, and all you had to do was add a controller. What I will say is the race mode is extremely fast. We were just racing this bike against a Super Mini, one of these kids out here that's training, and the Super Mini had to catch up to the E-Ride 2.0 after we were about 300 feet down the track. So that's a lot to say about this little E-moto, and that's why we wanted to build this bike to show you what was possible. All right, so the light has left us and it is getting dark, and I really wanted to do some riding shots on this bike. We may be able to come out and do it and put them over this video so you don't have to just look at me the entire time. However, the Ventus Bikes controller changes this E-moto completely. It makes it a real weapon, when before I feel this bike was a little bit boring, to be completely honest with you. But that's coming from somebody who rides bigger bikes, and if you're looking to put more power to the ground with a small adjustment to your bike, this is the way to go. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, or input on this, please leave those in the comments. I will answer them every single day, just like I always do, and we will see you guys on the next one.